A manual adjustment. It's very easy to not be completely digital, and although I hear talk and see part of the digital future trying to encircle us, I still don't think it was ever going to work as it's told. It's just a plan that sounds good to some on paper, and as they would like it, but that does not make it so. I've even written many an article on the whole premise. Ministry of Monitoring covers most of them. But in that illusion of they will know what you think, do, say, watch, etc., people seem to miss their role in that. Obviously they know certain things, because people choose to do things online. A lot. And many of those things don't need to be. Like what you read, or watch, or think, or who you talk to. Nobody forces anyone to share their personal thoughts, or read digital books, or only listen to music through an app. And some have conversations in real life, not online at all. So how could they possibly know what everyone wants, likes, feels, and thinks on a daily and ongoing basis? They don't. The simulations they have run, probability apportioned, and computers pull together data based on the programmed requirement. They then analyse the data and decide the next move to push everyone, or most people towards voluntarily handing over what they want, because you believe it's already there. Although, I am seeing more and more people phase some things out, grow out of them, and just move on. Not what the megacorp wants at all. How can they keep you in the system if you don't have any interest in contributing to it or have anything to gain from being part of it? But growing out of things, or finding you have changed and it no longer appeals, is something that happens to many people throughout their lives. And technology and the constant drive for people to be on social media doesn't appear to be for everyone anyway. That's why they are trying to tie people in through finance and food. Because we aren't interested as a whole to have every conversation, thought, idea and interest registered and recorded for later use by something else. If we choose to do that, it is because there is a purpose, like this article. Presenting your public work to the public. No problem there. But when you are presenting the most private and personal thoughts and ideals, dreams, fears and desires, what is the purpose for that? And this is where I realised it does serve an extra purpose, to lock people down and isolate them from each other and normal functions. Because it probably pushed an awful lot of people into online for many things they wouldn't have needed it for before. And young people being forced to learn and socialise online, reinforcing that as normal and demonising what actually is normal. They are trying to force a square peg into a round hole, and are prepared to chop off our corners to try and make us fit, despite the fact we are all being herded towards that hole, and it's all getting rather backed up. They can't adapt to our requirements as people, so try to convince us that it is we that are not adapting to or accepting of their systems. Clunky, rigid systems and standards that do not allow for flair, passion, individualism, creativity and free-flowing thought. It is also being noticed and observed how listening to books rather than reading them, people's brains engage in a less deliberative thinking. And I had always thought some brains aren't geared up to just hearing disembodied voices without pictures or any visuals to help them find form. But decided maybe it's just a personal thing, and some people respond better to that, and maybe they do. But it's simple. If you don't want someone knowing what you read and when, then pick up a book and read at your leisure. Goodreads was a good tool to gather people's reading history, I noticed. People happily wanting to show off what they had read or were reading, percentage by percentage. I quickly found it annoying and just ended up using it to have my books listed on my author page. As with many things over the years, they become no longer relevant, not just in society, but for you personally. And this is maybe why society struggles to make everyone fit. We aren't all the same or going at the same pace. Even just in school, when you were the same age, you're not the same height or weight or aptitude or fitness. But we don't stunt the growth of the other kids because a few are small, do we? And we don't make all the kids diet because a couple might be overweight, do we? No. But it does seem that's how they are trying to play it. Because they do, or have. Sometimes given the whole class punishment or detention for the actions of one. Knowing it causes tension, animosity and frustration. Having a rule enforced on the many for no good reason. It's a tried and tested method. Lockdown. Knowing from those classrooms what will happen. That some will fall in line. Some will rebel, and mostly all will have a feeling towards it. And once that feeling has been created, whether they comply or not, it is what you run with to sow further divide and animosity, in the eventual hope that everyone will fall in line if enough do it. Monkey see, monkey do, as they say. But have we just stumbled into a rather long episode of runaround, where although many choose the wrong circle, and are now aware of that, can't let it go and really accept it, taking us into a drawn-out Twilight Zone kind of setup, where many are now existing in separate realities, even more than we were before. And as many become aware of the decades of programming and deceptions, it seems it is changing the way they look at things, and rightly so. A manual adjustment has occurred to understand the new situation we now face, already mentally upgrading our own internal software to be able to recognise and deal with the current landscape. These are indeed some interesting times.